I decided to pursue my higher studies, I was working at Amazon. So my job involved shifts, so I was working in night shift. Since I also was handling dance classes as well as event management, my day would go in managing those activities. So I got very little time to prepare for an entrance exam. My mother has been my strength throughout. My father or my grandparents really wanted me to get married as soon as possible. Engineering, I'm done with engineering. I have already had 1.5 years of experience. But because of my mother, here I am. I have my own company. I've got a PPO. So I think without her, I wouldn't have been here.
I was working as a telecommunications engineer, and it wasn't strictly a desk job. I was out in the field quite a lot. A lot of my job was actually going out and testing and splicing cables. And if you're not aware, Kuwait, the temperatures can touch up to 60 degrees outside without no shade. And I was out in the desert. I would come back exhausted at the end of the day. And to a certain extent, I had to actually fit in my prep during my work day before I would leave for the field work, because I would come back totally wiped. There were times when I would have flashcards on the way to and from work. I would be sitting in the van with motion sickness trying to read these cards and go through at least a couple of concepts every day. So I think that was possibly one of the hardest things I had to do. At the time that I decided to do the MBA, I was also offered a more lucrative position at the company that I was working for. So that opportunity cost that I was losing coming here was quite large. And when you compare the exchange rates and everything, obviously I wouldn't expect to get something similar once I came back to India. I'm looking to establish myself in the field of brand management in the startup space. I'm very excited by the startup space. It's one of the reasons I joined MYRA, the fact that it was a startup, and I thought learning in that sort of an environment would prepare me for, and its proximity to Bangalore. Bangalore is one of the biggest startup hubs right now, and I really wanted to get into that space. So I'm looking, maybe I will start my own. I have a couple of ideas in mind, but for the time being, it's all about experience in startups.
Coaching was one part of the issue, but since I was a BSc Visual Communication student, and getting into an MBA, definitely we have to go into that system to learn about the system from A to Z. So I started from there. I took from histories and things about people who are there in those positions and read about their life, their stories. Movies also inspired me to get into these things. Steve Jobs' movie. Basically, he was an innovative, creative person, and he single-handedly, with the help of his friends, he came and established he has to negate many things in life to get into that position. So that all things inspired me. And since in my past college, I was part of many things, even we had politics, so I was part of many political things inside my college, so that burned that leadership qualities inside me. So I thought, why can't I channelize all these qualities at one place? So I thought about MYRA, where I can harness these qualities and get into some position where I can change my own life and at the same time so many different lives. One idea which I really want to make it in real world. So I thought I should channelize all these things inside. You can harness it only inside an MBA college, not anywhere else. Single-handedly you can't do anything. So MYRA was the best place.